So we decided to join the fishermen as they were going to fish in the Indian Ocean with my brothers. And it was just some beautiful experience we had out there, and I learned a lot of things that I wanted to share some with you. As you're going, we had to meet people that were using the boats, those that are using just the small boats, and those that are using the bigger ones. And as you're going, the winds, the storm, you could see the waves, and as you were using a speedboat going deeper and deeper, as the fishermen were directing us to different borders, as they were throwing their nets in, we had a scenario where we could see nothing but the blue skies, and the water was bluish, the color was beautiful. There are those things that you see in the movies and you think, why is it that the water that they have is different from the one that we have here in Africa? And indeed we experienced that. I even told my brother that indeed the water that are here more even seems to look much more beautiful than the ones that I see in the movies. As you're going deeper and deeper, still throwing in the nets, we had a scenario to talk, to discuss, as the waves could come in and the boat could seem like it wanted to capsize, but you could see that every of the fishermen, every of us was calm, and no one even thought that we could capsize. As this thing continued happening, I realized that there is someone that is greater than any one of us. There's someone who has life in his palm, and this is Jesus Christ. He cares for us and he has our lives, and when he offers security, he offers security to all of his children. I remember him saying that the rain comes to all, when he sends sunshine to all, to those who are in belief and those who are unbelievers. And it brought me to an idea, to a question that someone asked me someday, that what is faith? And I quickly went to the book of Hebrews chapter 11 and answered that now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. And this person asked me, what do you mean by that? And I realized that repeating a Bible verse is different from understanding. And most of us have been reading this verse, and that's what we've always been giving people, like, what is faith? And it's saying just believing. And I realize that most of the people do not understand this verse, and we've never been making people understand it because we always just recite the verse. And I wanted to get an answer and an explanation from how Jesus Christ described what faith is. And that's why today I want to take you to the one verse that I'm going to read, that is from the book of Matthew chapter 8, from verse 5 to 10. Matthew chapter 8, there's a scenario here where Jesus Christ is describing what faith is. It says, Matthew chapter 8 from verse 5 says, when Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home, paralyzed and in terrible suffering. Jesus said to him, I will go and heal him. The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I am myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does. When Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those following him, I tell you the truth, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. I want you to understand a bit of what Jesus Christ is trying to explain in just 2 words. That he's never found such faith, someone with authority. Before, if you read the verses before, you'll realize that there are some people who came to Jesus Christ and asked Jesus Christ that man has a sick person at home and he deserves listening and he deserves healing because he's a man of authority. But if you read in verse 8, we're being told that when the man came to Jesus Christ, there's something that told Jesus Christ, that I am unworthy even to do things. So let's just go to that verse. In verse 8 it says, the centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. Just speak the word, and the paralyzed boy will be healed. I want to tell you something as I'm winding up this short study. that Jesus Christ is trying to explain that the reason he's never found great faith in Israel like that of that man is because the man, despite him having authority over other men, decided to be more humble, like the character that Jesus Christ wants. He carried the resemblance of the deep humility that Jesus Christ wants. Humility comes from the word humus. Deep humility. Humus is something that is just part of the soil that people always step on. He couldn't just understand why someone of authority refers to himself as humus. And this is what Jesus Christ is saying this as he's winding up. That great faith is showing us that faith is trusting in the Word of God and in the Word of God only. Faith is deep obedience in God. Faith is obeying every word that is breathed from the heavens. Faith is believing each and every word that the Bible instructs us to do. I want to tell you one thing, that Jesus Christ wants us to be humble so that faith can be reflected in our lives. We can only do, and our faith can only be manifested if deep down in our hearts we are humble to Christ. Humbleness to Christ is having the same character like that of Christ. We have to be humble like Christ. Is when this faith is manifested. As I looked at the sky and the beauty of it, as I looked at the way the sky could have reflected its color to the waters on that day, I realized something, that the beauty of the glorious of the coming of the Lord is something that we can never want to miss. Why don't we just humble ourselves and have the deep faith that indeed Jesus Christ is preparing places for us, and is preparing our lives, and is preparing us for His second coming, and let us be ready for His second coming. Why don't we just add up to our faith that when Jesus Christ is giving testimony, someday He'll say, I've never seen such great faith in the generation of today, like that of that man, like that of that lady, like that of those children that I see there. Because Jesus Christ wants us to manifest great faith. And this is a scenario that we learned in the Indian Ocean with my brothers from Aqua Blue. God bless you. So we decided to join the fishermen as they were going to fish.